Well, Beatriz, you recently joined KPMG. It's a pleasure to have a chance to talk with you. Tell me a little bit about your background.
Hi, Rodney. Thank you for the space to talk about. Well, I have around 21 years of experience in taxation, but the last 5 years of my career, I was focused also in natural resources and energy policies. And I make some studies in UK and in US regarding these subjects because I was very concerned about all that was related to the Paris Agreement that was signed in 2015. And I was very curious about what was happening in Europe in terms of change in regulations and policies. And also how was the level of, what was the status in the case, in particular case of US. And on the other hand, I think that this connects very well with sustainability. So I was also involved, participating very actively in associations. One of them is Women in Energy in Peru, in which I was the founder in 2018. And we are also very committed in that forum to gender equality and also mentoring women that want to achieve or take their career to a different level.
That is a big background, Beatriz. That's a lot. So really fascinating. This point that you were just sharing about when you were doing your research and looking at sustainability, natural resources, and tax, how is the intersection of those three starting to unfold from your perspective?
Well, it's very, very well connected. 2015 was like a landmark regarding climate change initiatives with Paris Agreement. But on the other hand, also the following year, the Sustainable Development Goals were also come out in the world for the countries that are under the UN. And these sustainable goals includes actions for the climate, and also action for the energy access, and also actions for gender equality, among others. So there are 17 goals that all the countries have to comply. So the first connection there. But the second connection is that when we see how is the status of the world and talking about the pandemic context, we see like the weather is changing and there are these kind of new diseases in the world. So countries have to do something. And to do something implies create the framework with regulations, policies, also the banking, the financial institutions providing funds to develop projects that are aligned with these climate change and the sustainable goals. And those include to change taxation, because we are living in a global context. And proof of that is what is happening now with the agreement that happened the last month in July regarding the new pillars that will have to be in place in January 1st for the 130 countries that signed that. So we are expecting a lot of things that will happen in terms of taxation, but we need to be also monitoring what is going on regarding these other international framework that are related to climate change and sustainability. There is a clear interconnection in the three ones.
Really interesting. And how do you find, as you talk to clients and colleagues, has this sort of elevated in people's conversations? Has it become more of a focus, or where is it compared to the past?
Well, yes, I think this elevates the conversation to a different level, because as a tax advisor, I am not only focusing in tax, but also in the industry and what is happening. For example, if we talk about in this context about energy transition, and we see change in regulations and taxation. We need to check, for example, benchmark and do some kind of benchmark analysis. What were the regulations regarding electromobility that were introduced in other countries? What is happening in the particular country? There are, for example, if we talk about Latin America, countries with mining industry and their big development, case of Peru, second producer of copper. We see a lot of pilot projects with companies that are related to energy transition, electromobility, hydrogen recently. So it makes sense. It makes sense because all the companies are concerned about these topics that we are talking about. And so we have how to say, raw material to be in the loop of what is going on and then introduce the particular subject regarding taxation. This is a wonderful manner to approach clients nowadays, I think.
Really interesting. Now, we started off talking about sustainability as a broad matter, and then we talked about the climate and the environment. But the other topic you mentioned was gender matters as well. And I think you said that you founded a network. Tell me a bit more about that part of your life.
Well, that was a wonder discovering for me. I remember in 2018 in Peru, we organized the first meeting under the Society of Petroleum Engineers, that is also a worldwide organization. And we convoke, normally, according to our statistics, normally to these events, we have an attendance of 60%. That day, there were over 300 people. Like
Wow.
Some people talk with others, and it was a big network, and we have a lot of demand because women in business, in this case regarding energy sector, were curious about what we were talking about. And then based on what we collect, ideas and suggestions that we collect, we start organizing mentoring programs. And in a multidisciplinary way, not only for lawyers or accountants, engineers, or different. And we found something. There was a connector, and it was like there were a lot of women that were very intelligent and a lot to deliver, well prepared. But at the same time, we hungered to have more visibility, but they didn't know how to do it. And it's the kind of things that we start doing, and then creating other chapters. We have a networking space. We have with some talking about different subjects, technology in energy, soft skills for the profile of the professional in energy, taxation in energy, different subjects. And in that way, we start gathering the attention, and we have nowadays a very strong network under women in energy.
That's really impressive. So it all sort of comes together under the over umbrella of sustainability. It's both the environment, tax, resources, new technologies, gender equality and equity. It all seems to pull together into one sort of coherent pattern from what I'm hearing from you.
Yes, and when we start digging more and more, you start finding more and more connection. No, for example, companies that are following already sustainability reports and that they have to report to the stock exchange in different countries that follow, for example, GRI standards. This year, 2021, there is a new standard regarding the manage how a tax manager have to develop his functions, and also including how is the report of companies regarding transaction cross-border. So, and that will be in the report, the sustainability reports. So also there are developments for sustainability standards for natural resources industries that are under development this year. Is in draft yet. So I see like we need to be in the loop. So it's something that is a must nowadays.
Just fascinating. And actually, the discussion is fascinating. So it makes you realize how if you focus on one small thing, you sort of miss the totality of how everything comes together. So, well, look, Beatriz, this has been a fascinating discussion again. Welcome to the firm, and I look forward to catching up with you in person when we finally get to travel internationally again. Thanks for your time, Beatriz.
Thank you too.